Welcome to the Driving the World podcast series. I'm your host, Cully Holland. Today we have Jared Scott, our corporate training manager, and we'll be discussing mobile apps and tools available for our customers. Hey, Jared, thank you so much for joining us again. How you been?
I've been doing well. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful. So today it sounds like we're going to discuss a little bit of maybe some mobile apps for those smartphones that everybody has in their pocket and some tools that our customers might find useful or resourceful, especially and particularly when they're out in the field. So what are a couple of these apps that our customers can use and have handy on their cell phones?
Yeah, let's jump into the one that is one of my favorites. It's the SEW Product ID Plus. So I have to back up a little bit and tell you what it was like for these apps. You go to a customer, you're talking to them, and they're trying to give you information about a unit. And we've talked about in other podcasts, and we have tons of information out there about our lifeblood, that SO number.
Right.
That SO number is key. Well, a long time ago, people would make etchings of it, and then went to a laser nameplate, and then you had to actually write down the number, and then you could transcribe the error. You just make mistakes. It happens. Or they don't know what they have. They're trying to communicate. And in clear, concise, and accurate communication is so important. So for me, I am in love with this app because I try to push it out to every customer I talk to. Say, hey, you need this app on your phone, and you don't have to get into the battle of Apple or Droids, because
Right.
it's like we have it available for both. But this app, Product ID Plus, enables you to be able to scan the SO number on the nameplate, or you can manually type it in. It'll recognize some of our smart codes. We have QR codes on some of our product. We have labels on some of our VFDs. So regardless of the method or the way that it's presented to our product, we can take that Product ID Plus app, and then what it does is it pulls the information out about that unit. And there is a bunch of information that is available to you as soon as you scan that SO number.
That is fantastic. And having been out in the field and definitely written a few SO numbers in my time, I too am a big fan of this app. So I'm glad we have this because, as you said, scanning it or just taking a picture, it's a lot easier to send a screenshot or an actual picture you took, and they can see the physical SO number. And then even for our customers, I know instead of having to go to a laptop or call SEW, which we're always happy to answer the phone and support our customers, but they can now get all of the information, and we're talking horsepower, shaft size, ratio, mounting position. All of this is put in a very nice graphical screen for them so they can help themselves if they're in a pinch, and they can get all of that information right from their phone. So
Yeah, and it's interesting you brought out about all that information. One of the coolest features of that app is it actually shows you a CAD rendition of that unit. And it's going to give you, if the information was ordered that way, like say, hey, the unit's supposed to be blue or red, it's going to show you a picture of that unit in that color. But it also shows you a picture of that unit, how it's supposed to be mounted. Give you a true life example. We were visiting a customer one time, and we're looking at the unit, and they were using the app. They wanted to try it out, and they noticed right then and there that the app was showing them that unit was supposed to be mounted differently than how it was on the conveyor. So sure enough, we go and look at the nameplate, and they had mounted it improperly. So it's actually a tool that can be used for training. Maintenance individuals that are going through the plant can just make sure that everything is the way that it should be. And when you have this information, you can quickly send it. There's a little button at the top of the screen that will allow you to either text it or email it directly to whoever you want. So you don't have to have pen and paper with you. You can immediately send it to your SEW sales rep or to your company's inside people. And that way we can start working on, hey, you need a replacement, or we need maintenance or service on this unit. It's just a great tool to really concisely give you the important information that you need.
I mean, it's wonderful to hear and understand that when you're doing this with the QR code or typing in the SO number, you're not getting some generic photo or some generally used picture. It is actually your unit, like you were saying, with your color, your mounting position, all the details. So it is extremely handy for maintenance or anyone that just wants to double check and make sure that, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everything's going to be running smoothly, because mounting positions are very often overlooked, and they could be the beginning of a lot of service issues, to put it nicely, if mounted improperly.
That's right. And So there's more. It's
There's
like an
more.
infomercial.
Yes.
The app also brings up the technical documentation related specifically to that unit. So let's just say, for instance, you had one of our gearboxes in a motor, and you open up the conduit box, and maybe we have the wiring diagram in there, a sticker on the lid, whatever. There's different variations based on what type of product it is. Well, let's say, hey, you went to lunch and somebody said, hey, what's this piece of paper? And they took it with them, and now you don't have the wiring diagram. The wiring diagram is in the database. So when you scan with that QR code or SO number and pull it up in Product ID Plus, it's going to give you the operating instructions, the different drawings and dimension sheets, the wiring diagrams, all in that app for that specific unit. Because you and I know we can't even, we work here and it's hard to find. There's thousands and thousands of pieces of documentation, whereas this app is going to center in on and focus in on the particular product related to that unit. So it's right there, and you can email that stuff to somebody if you want to.
And I know that has to be a huge benefit because, as we mentioned a little earlier, SEW is always happy to answer the phone, but we're all people and we all have full-time jobs. So if you call an SEW rep and you get a voicemail, they're going to be calling you back as soon as they can. But if you're looking for some of the simple documentation that's used day to day, it is a quick and effective way to find it and go ahead and get the ball rolling to where you call your sales rep, call engineering, you're looking for a little help. This can be step 1 and step 2. So when engineering or your sales rep call you back, you'll be like, yeah, I'm looking at the wiring diagram. I have my technical information. What's our next step? And it's just going to go ahead and move that process on a little bit longer and a little bit quicker.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I love the app. Everybody should have this app on their phone. It should be like a prerequisite.
Yes. We should just be pushing it to everyone. And so is this the only app that SEW has, or do we have 1 or 2 more that could be extremely helpful?
We do. We actually have another app. It's a troubleshooting app. And this is focused particularly on our electronics. So we have different VFDs and decentralized offerings. And the way that I would describe it is a lot of our product has a LED display. And if there's an error, like a fault code, let's just say you had F14, one of the most common ones out there, when an encoder is improperly wired, there's a problem with it. But we just know that because we've been here forever at SEW, right?
Seen it a few times.
Yeah. But if you're say a service person at a company, and you open up the door to the control cabinet and you see our MoviDrive B or our Movi C equipment there, and you see this LED code flashing, you're like, what is that? Well, you can pull out your phone and you can select the product. You can scroll down and see, oh, okay, F14. And it doesn't just start at just one fault, but it's going to help you troubleshoot walking through, okay, have you checked this? It tells you what to do, like check this connection, look at this, go look at that. It walks you through it. Like you said, sure, we'll do it for you too, but I don't know about you. We live in a world where it's like, hey, we don't want a lot of downtime, and it can be something as simple as resetting something. And this app walks you through our main products that are electronics to be able to help you basically figure it out. And guess what? If you can't figure it out, it's okay. There's a direct link you can click on to request support from SEW. So
that's fantastic. And just a small clarifying note for some of our listeners that might be new to the industry. VFD is a variable frequency drive, also known as an inverter. And when we mention decentralized, that's just a VFD or inverter mounted on or close to a motor, versus cabinet VFDs, which are going to be situated in a cabinet. So just a little tidbit there for some of our new listeners or folks that are just trying to dive into the industry. But I mean, these apps, they're sounding like an absolutely wonderful first line of defense, a first step to take, and they're going to give you a plethora of information, documentation, help, troubleshooting, etc. So I'm so thankful we have them. And we're talking to customers right now, but if any of our fellow SEW employees are listening and you do not have these apps, go ahead and download them, because I have used them in trainings. I've used them in the field. I use them when I'm just trying to find documentation in general. They are streamlined and extremely helpful.
Yeah, they are. You know, one side note is, I don't know about you, but don't you hate it when you download an app and it has that little bitty word that says in-app purchases? So it like fakes you out like it's free, but you open it up and it's like, well, it's not really free and all that. Well, all of our apps are free. And in fact, you don't have to like put any of your personal information in there. You can just go to the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, download it, and it's yours to use.
And you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple as that.
So from working with them, I know that they are available on our online support. Is there an easy way to find them, or should we just share a link in the description?
I think below you'll see the link in the description to do that. If you aren't able to find it when you go to our SEW-EURODRIVE website under online support.
Well, fantastic. We're going to have that link for you there in the description so you can easily find and download these apps. And is there anything else we need to talk on, some apps or tools that our customers might find useful?
There's another app that is called the Drive Radar app, and that's very specialized, and there's a lot to that, and I think that'd be something we could just talk about on a whole nother episode.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll see you again soon.
Maybe.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, Jared.
My pleasure.